March 29, 1849. A slave, who had been in chains for 33 years, made a daring plan that shook the world. Harry Box Brown decided to gamble with death for his freedom. He would lock himself in a wooden box and send it 350 miles, 560 kilometers, to an area where slavery was illegal. But this was no ordinary journey. It was a 27-hour journey where one mistake could mean life or death. Henry Brown was born in Virginia in 1815 into the darkness of slavery. He worked hard on his master's fields, but the most cruel reality of slavery was that slaves were deprived of their families. In 1848, a resurrection broke out. Henry's wife, Nancy, and their 3 innocent children were forcibly sold. He couldn't stop them, couldn't save them. He just watched as his loved ones were taken from him forever. This moment was a turning point for Henry Brown. He decided he couldn't live under this cruel system anymore. He was going to break the chains of slavery. The amazing plan to lock himself in a box. The only way to freedom was to escape. But it couldn't be any ordinary escape. In Virginia, escaping was a death sentence. Henry came up with an incredible plan. He would lock himself in a wooden box, cargo box, and travel by rail and wagon to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where slavery was illegal. The box was only 36 inches long, 24 inches wide, and 32 inches deep. There was no light, no proper ventilation, and no room to move. It was a gamble to die for. If caught, they would either be killed or re-enslaved. Death journey, 27 hours in darkness. On March 29, 1849, early in the morning, Henry, with the help of his companion Samuel Smith, locked himself in the box. It was an ordinary wooden cargo box with the inscription, "This box is for fragile items. Handle with care." The box was without any special facilities. It had only a few small holes so that they could breathe. All they had was a little water and a few biscuits. When the box was closed, deep darkness and an eerie silence enveloped them. They lay there breathless. If there had been even the slightest movement, it could have been fatal. The train journey began. The box was jolted badly along the way, and at one point it completely overturned. Henry almost fainted. His head was down and his feet were up, and he remained in this position for several hours. His blood circulation began to be affected. His heart rate began to slow down, but he could not speak a word. When the box was loaded onto a steamer, the workers pushed it hard. Thump! The box hit a spot and hit with a huge jolt. If the box had broken at that moment, Henry would have been caught immediately. 4. Near the destination, but on the verge of death 27 hours later, when Henry felt that his box had stopped, his heart began to beat loudly. Had he been caught? Was this the moment of his death? The box opened, and the light of freedom shone. When Henry's fellow abolitionists opened the box, Henry Brown peered into the light. He surprised everyone when he said, "How do you do, gentlemen?" These were the first words spoken by a slave in the free world. Henry stepped out of the dark prison of slavery into the bright world of freedom. Henry Brown's new life. The struggle against slavery. Henry Brown's story became famous in America and Britain. He joined the anti-slavery movements and began to bring his experience to the world. He learned the art of witchcraft and spent the last 50 years of his life as a free man. Henry Brown's legacy, a symbol of freedom. The story of Henry Box Brown is still considered a symbol of courage, independence, and extraordinary intelligence. This story teaches us that if a person puts everything at stake for their freedom, they can make the impossible possible.